2024 results. At this time, all participants are in the listen-only mode. After the speaker's presentation, there will be a question-and-answer session. To ask a question during the session, you need to press star 11 on your telephone. You'll then get an automatic message advising your hand is raised. Please be advised that today's conference is being recorded. I'd now like to hand the call over to Pak Oki, VP Investor Relations. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Desmond. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PT Telkom Indonesia conference call for the unaudited results of first semester of 2024. There will be an overview from our CEO and CFO of Telkom Group, followed by the Q&A after the session. Before we start, let me remind you that today's call and the responses to the questions may contain forward-looking statements within the meaning of safe harbor. Actual results could differ materially from projections or estimations. It may involve risks and uncertainties that may cause actual results to be different from what we discuss today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure today to introduce Telkom's Board of Directors, who are joining us today: Bapak Ririk Adriansyah as President Director and CEO, Bapak Heri Supriyadi as Finance and Risk Management Director, Ibu Venetiana as Enterprise and Business Service Director, Bapak Bogi Wicaksono as Wholesale and International Service Director, Bapak Budi Setiawan Wijaya as Strategic Portfolio Director, Bapak Honesty Bashir as Group Business Development Director, Bapak Herlan Wijanarko as Network and IT Solutions Director, and Bapak Afriwandi as Human Capital Management Director. Also present are the board directors of Telkomsel, Bapak Nugroho as President Director, Bapak Daru Mulyawan as Finance and Risk Management Director, Bapak Derek Hang as Marketing Director, and Bapak Adi Winahyu Basukesigit as Sales Director. I now hand over the call to our President Director and CEO, Bapak Ririk Adriansyah, for his overview.
Thank you, Oki. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our conference call for the unaudited first semester of 2024 results. We appreciate the participation in this call. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen 2024 as the year of better economic stability and growth compared to the year of 2023. Indonesia target a 5.2% economic growth rate in 2024 as compared to 5.05% growth in the previous year, despite challenges such as declining commodity prices and global economic conditions. Domestic consumption is predicted to contribute more than half of Indonesian economic growth, supported by high level of employment and stable inflation rate of 2.45% plus minus 1%. Indonesia is the highest employment rate country among G20 nations, with employment level of almost 70%, although the source of employment comes from the informal sector. Moreover, the elected President Prabowo Subianto and his administration commit to several current administration policies, signal a stable investment climate and reduce political instability. Energy and food price volatility, along with the stronger US dollar to Indonesian rupiah, should be watched carefully. However, there remain significant potential for further growth as expanding range of high-tech products and maximizing their impact on employment could help bolster the economy in the face of external financial pressures. Telecommunication industry contributes to the growth of high-tech products and poses big opportunity in increasing the economic of micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs/big corporations. GDP and household spending growth in Indonesia will also create the effect of increased spending, including in the telecommunication sector. As Telkom Group has been transforming to digital telecommunication company, serving both B2C and B2B segment, we are ready to catch up the opportunity of increasing telecommunication sector growth. Our domination as incumbent telecommunication company enables us to become the digital economic catalyst for the nation. This is important while the industry is in the fast evolution, having the fast-changing technology coupled with the tension of the global geopolitical environment. On the B2C segment, we have implemented fixed mobile convergence, or FMC, strategy for 1 year since the 1st of July 2023, and proven that the strategy is an effective path. Further tactical strategy by launching Telkomsel One as multi-product offering, Telkomsel Lite and Gayu as secondary brand to maintain market share leadership while remain focused on profitability so far yet a positive impact and does not create price instability in the market. This has been evidenced in the stability of our ARPU during first semester of 2024, while mobile customer base grew at a healthy 4.3% to 159.9 million subscribers. As a result, our normalized EBITDA margin has also been sustained at 51.9% for this semester. We remain of the view that industry consolidation and healthy pricing could be developed toward healthy competition. Moreover, the synergy effect from the FMC initiative, such as revenue uplift, OpEx efficiency, and CapEx effectiveness, has also been conducted carefully to ensure maximum effect of FMC strategy to our company's financial. As part of improving our 5-World Move strategy, our corporate transformation group makes sure that all business processes achieve with efficient results and no duplication processes within our organization. This includes, for example, in the process of procurement, where thanks to a conduct of group purchase initiatives, the rate of CapEx purchase for devices and network has improved quite meaningfully. Such a group negotiation process has additionally made positive impact to digital content offerings, of which in the end resulted to a better experience to our end customers and efficient content costs for the company. Moreover, we are also successful in the deal structure payment mostly in Indonesia Rupiah contract to offset foreign exchange uncertainty. Similarly, in June 2024, the group has also initiated an early pension program which attracted more than 1,000 employees whose profile in line with our target to optimize and fashion the workforce up as well as to create leaner organization in accordance to 5-World Move strategy. The program cost us a total of 1.24 trillion with a payback of 3 years. Such initiative is aimed to lift productivity of our capital and hence our shareholders' value in the future. On the B2B business, we continue to be agile and yet focused to create long-term sustainability growth of revenue on the digital connectivity supported by platform expansions with data center and cloud as a business enabler. Our additional data center capacity within the year 2024 will be contributed mostly from hyperscale data center by 18 MW in Cikarang, as well as a capacity expansion of our enterprise data center and RS data centers. Improvement of the established capacity in our data center could be allocated to anticipate more cloud storage and processing demand driven by artificial intelligence standards such as ultra high definition content, virtual reality, and gaming. Telkom Indonesia International or Telin, other profitable subsidiary of group, also support end-to-end data center connectivity by building from data center premises up to international gateway. With international sea cable backbone business as Telin main source of revenue, internet connectivity quality and latency will improve since international internet traffic could be rerouted to the shortest international gateway. It needs not to be passed to Jakarta and Singapore anymore as the main international gateway. Infraco initiative progress has also been encouraging. In this, our business vehicle, PT Telkom Infrastructure Indonesia, will serve as mandate to Commons Infrastructure Asset Managed Service carry out of Telkom's fiber infrastructure asset maintenance. We have confirmed that the legal day one for PT Telkom Infrastructure Indonesia as a Telkom's infrastructure managed service entity will be on the 1st of August 2024. Then it assumes to have a higher duty as the asset owner of Telkom's fiber infrastructure in 2025. We also hope that besides from FMC initiative, the establishment will also enable us to transfer efficient asset development while also improve existing infrastructure asset with additional investment to increase CapEx efficiency. On the B2B digital ID services and digital company initiative, besides preparing for internal capability enhancement, we also realign our portfolio, especially in our subsidiaries such as Sigma, Busnet, and Mitra Plaza. That will be the ending of my remarks. Next, I would like to hand over the presentation to Pak Heri Supriyadi, our Group Finance and Risk Management Director, to give you a brief overview in regard to our financial performance. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Ririk. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. During the first semester of 2024, unaudited financial results Telkom Group has delivered a healthy revenue growth of 2.5% year-on-year to 75.3 trillion rupiah, and with the EBITDA achieved at 37.9 trillion rupiah, a slight decrease by 1.3% year-on-year. The growth in our revenue has been mostly contributed from our continuing effort in promoting data and internet services revenue amidst the continuing natural decline of our legacy revenue. The slight decrease in EBITDA, however, occurred as during the second quarter, we initiated an early retirement program, which has attracted a total of around 1,000 employees and expenses of 1.24 trillion rupiah. This made personal expenses jump by 20.9% year-on-year during the semester. On the other side, we believe this initiative will not only create leaner organization, but also increase youth talent, efficiency, and productivity. Stripping out the one-off cost from the program, our normalized EBITDA stood at 39.1 trillion, of which grew by 1.9% and making the normalized EBITDA margin stabilized at 51.9% as compared to that in the first quarter of 2024. Meanwhile, our operating net income grew by 4.2% year-on-year to 13 trillion rupiah after stripping out of mark-to-market effect from GoTo, ERP cost, and one-off from unlocking assets at Telkomsel level. Taking a deep dive into expenses breakdown, besides the strategic initiative on early retirement program, as the highlight during the quarter, the higher cost in interconnection has been attributed to the growth in revenue related to voice hubbing. The dilution of margin in the business, however, come following the decline in legacy business, including voice and SMS A2P revenue. Up to first semester of 2024, we have realized a total CAPEX of 11.7 trillion rupiah, largely used for connectivity, followed by spending for digital platform and services. CAPEX realization to revenue was at 15.5% and hopefully accelerated toward the end of the year at ideal level of 22 to 24% and gradually create significant additional revenue. And at the end of June, our liabilities saw net additional in debt position. The increase was seen as we withdraw a short-term debt used for dividend payment. Our gearing ratio, however, was maintained at healthy level with net debt to EBITDA stood at 0.67 times at the end of June 2024. On B2C business, despite the deterioration household spending post-Idul Fitri, combined with the increasing dynamic of competition in the industry, the second quarter of 2024 has been a steady quarter for Telkomsel. In second quarter of 2024 alone, mobile revenue come at 28.6 trillion rupiah, which modestly grew by 0.4%, while IndiHome revenue was 6.6 trillion rupiah with an increase of 0.3% from the previous quarter. This brought our revenue for Telkomsel grew solidly by 29.9% to 57.2 trillion for the semester, with the EBITDA margin steady at 47%. We have also managed to further acceleration in our convergence penetration to 47% and reach digital asset user to around 80 million. Productivity improved, driven by data payload, of which increased by 11.7% year-on-year, while customer base reached 159.9 million, an increase of 4.3% at the end of June 2024. Our continuous effort to give better customer experience in digital services, together with further push in synergy value initiative, yield positive impact, and maintain ARPU at a healthy level of 45,000 rupiah. This is despite of our recent introduction of Telkomsel Lite, which has proven to maintain healthy pricing and not creating price war. Our IndiHome business has also been showing a consistent positive growth trajectory to capture the tremendous opportunity for growth in the fixed broadband business. We believe the journey of our next 10 million growth in customer lives in the mass market segment. This has become our main strategic focus and marked by the recent launch of EasyNet, of which not only aim at expanding our fixed broadband business into new segment, but also to grow our converged use further. Moving to wholesale and international business segment, in the first semester of 2024, the segment contributed Telkom Group revenue in the amount of 9.2 trillion, grew by 13.1% year-on-year as the result of growing international wholesale voice business and digital connectivity infrastructure business. Telin remained as one of the major contributors to the segment, with international connectivity as the main driver of the growth. In the meantime, we are continuing our journey in our attempt to unlock value of our data center business. We are exploring new strategic partners, of which together could accelerate the growth of our DC business, not only for domestic, but also in the regional Asia. As of first semester of 2024, our data center business has contributed 1 trillion rupiah to total group revenue, a solid increase by 22% growth year-on-year, driven by higher traffic in content delivery network, or CDN. On tower business, as of first semester of 2024, Mitratel keep maintaining its position as the largest tower provider in Southeast Asia in terms of tower owned, with more than 38.6 thousand of towers and more than 58.6 thousand of tenants. The tenancy ratio was improved to 1.52 times. On the standalone business, in the first half of 2024, Mitratel recorded revenue of 4.5 trillion rupiah, or grew by 7.8% year-on-year, driven by tower leasing revenue. EBITDA and net income grew by 10.2% and 4.1% year-on-year respectively. This resulted in strong EBITDA and net income margin of 83.1% and 23.9%. Furthermore, Mitratel demonstrated a strong financial position with relatively low leverage ratio of 1.8 times to net debt to EBITDA as compared to the industry. Enterprise segment recorded revenue of 10.2 trillion rupiah during the first semester of 2024, or grew by 9.4% year-on-year, driven by digital connectivity, contributed by high-speed internet, and digital services contributed by e-payment. We continue to strengthen our capabilities in the cloud business, digital IT services, and cyber security. This initiative by among few building strategic partnerships with global technology players. Lastly, in regard to our guidance for 2024, looking at the latest development in the economy and further dynamic in the industry environment, we are now aiming for our revenue to grow by low single digit for the years. This will come with EBITDA margin in the range of 50 to 52% and CapEx to revenue ratio of 22 to 24%. That would be the ending of my remarks, and thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Pak Heri. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the Q&A session. For raising your questions, please speak clearly and state your name and also your institutions or the company. Operator, May we have the first questions, please? Thank you.
As a reminder, to ask question, please press star 11 on your telephone. To cancel your request, please press star 11 again. First question comes from the line of Kelsey